There's a crazy thunderstorm outside right now. And there goes the power. Which is totally okay because I'm not afraid of the dark, like, at all. I wish I could light up like these glowing stars. I could be my own nightlight, and then the darkness wouldn't get me. That is if I were afraid of the dark, which I'm definitely not. Hey, speaking of being my own nightlight, here's a great question I got from Aiden. If fireflies glow in the dark, why can't we?
Yeah, why can't we glow like a firefly?
I've never actually tried to glow. Maybe I just have to concentrate. Nothing's glowing. Why can't we make our own light like fireflies?
Or like comets? Or lightning? I don't even know how we make electric lights.
But maybe your questions about things that light up will help me find an answer by the end of the show. A good place to start is to find out more about creatures that know how to glow. Here's another question about fireflies. This one's from Sean.
Why do fireflies' butts glow?
I checked, and I found out that fireflies' butts light up for one main reason: romance.
I found out that fireflies have two special chemicals in their bodies, and when they mix together, they create light, kind of like a glow stick.
They can control these chemicals to turn their light on and off whenever they want.
Different kinds of fireflies can make yellow, green, orange, or even blue light. They actually talk to each other with patterns of flashes from their butts, like secret codes. Yoo-hoo! The male fireflies flash a message to say,
"Hey, I'm a certain type of firefly, and I'm going to tell you a little more about myself." And if a female likes what she's seeing,
they'll flash back. Then the male follows her flashes and flies over to meet her.
How romantic.
What a great way to find each other in the dark. Actually, they're not just sending sappy messages. Their flashes can also warn hungry predators to stay away because they taste really bad.
We might not be able to glow, but we can use lights to communicate like fireflies do. Ooh, I bet my friends know some ways that we use lights.
Ask a friend.
A police car has a red light on top, which says "Get out of the way."
Lighthouses shine light on the rocks, then the ships could see the rocks and then they would turn back.
Like when we're driving and we see the lights says green, red, and yellow.
If you flash lights in specific ways, like turn it off and on, I think it can be Morse code.
Holy moly, you're right. We use flashing lights to communicate all the time. Hey, wouldn't it be funny if we did all that with our butts?
You know, just like fireflies.
It's the police! Come out with your hands up! If you could make any part of you light up like a firefly's butt, what would it be?
It would be my wrist, probably my nose.
Somewhere on my face, like my eyes, my nose, or my mouth.
My nails for like Halloween parties and stuff.
I think I would want my head to glow so people can see my face. Ooh, yeah. You could be a ghostly floating head in the dark. Ooh. This next question is from William. Ooh.
Do some fish glow in the dark?
Do some fish glow in the dark? Well, I checked. And on land, there aren't too many animals that can make their own light. But underwater, it's a different story.
To find out more, I swam to the darkest depths of the ocean. Not really. I'm actually in the very dark laboratory of Dr. David Morse, a biologist who specializes in glowing sea creatures. Whoa, what is that?
This is a flask of dinoflagellates.
Huh, it glows.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Zoe.
That looks like plain old water in there. How come it was glowing?
Well, it's not plain old water. It's actually full of creatures, and they're really amazing because they produce their own light.
I don't see any creatures.
Well, they are so small, you actually need a microscope to see them.
Wow. Incredible. But why do you have to stir them up to make them glow?
They're sensitive to movement, like somebody swimming in the ocean or a predator swimming after them and trying to eat them. And their response to that movement is to give off a flash of light. Either to scare away those predators or to attract predators of the predators.
They use the light to communicate to the predators of their predators?
That's right, but any movement of the water will make them give off light. There are places where the beaches glow at night with the waves, and the water lights up. It's really beautiful.
Amazing. Can I see one close up?
Sure.
Wow. All those creatures were in that water?
Yes, and they even have tails to help them swim.
They're so cute. How do they make that light?
The same way that fireflies do. They burn a molecule called luciferin, and that produces the light.
Cool. Are there any kinds of fish that use light to communicate?
Lots of them. In fact, most of the fish that live in the bottom of the sea are bioluminescent.
Dr. Morris tells me that bioluminescence is the chemical reaction that makes some creatures produce their own light.
It's very vast and dark in the deep sea, so the creatures there use light to find and signal their mates or to lure in their prey.
Cool.
Did you know that some animals can actually scare off their predators with bursts of light? And others can hide by lighting up their bellies to perfectly match the light coming down from above, so their predators can't see their silhouettes.
Which way did he go?
Holy cow. There are so many fish and other sea creatures that can glow in amazing ways. Hey, can I keep some dinoflagellates as pets?
Sure you can. I put some in this tube for you. All you have to do is put them in the sunlight every day, and then they'll light up at night.
Cool. I'm so excited. I'm going to name them all.
I should tell you there's probably about 1 million in there.
1 million? Now I have to think of 1 million names. Okay, I'll name you Sparky, you Twinkle Toes, you Lightning, you Thunder,
This could take a while.
you Twilight. Boy, I'm going to have to think of a lot of names. Meanwhile, here's another question about glowing animals from Deborah.
How come a neon fish will glow at night when you shine a bright light at them?
Well, Deborah, I checked. And some animals don't make their own light, but they're really good at reflecting it.
Neon fish have crystals in the skin underneath their scales that reflect light. Kind of like the reflector on your bike. But without light, you can't see them. And check this out. Some fish reflect light in an extra cool way, by changing color. It's called biofluorescence. These fish live in the deep dark ocean, where only blue light gets through. When that blue light hits them, it's reflected as green or red light. That's because biofluorescent fish have special colored lenses in their eyes, kind of like sunglasses. They stand out like a light bulb in the dark, and that's how they recognize their own kind.
That gives me an idea for...
My Great Challenge!
I have here with me Jeremy. I'm going to call you a squigglefish.
Yeah!
And Molly, I'm going to call you a splatfish.
Yes.
You each have different hidden patterns on your arms that you can only see with these black lights.
That's kind of like using the special eyes that some fish have for finding the hidden reflecting colors of their mates. You get to do almost the same thing in this challenge. Use your black light to find the biofluorescent fish with your pattern on it. Oh yeah, and some fish have no pattern at all. Just to trick you.
Your challenge is to find as many fish of your own kind as you can in 2 minutes and take them back to your home base right here. Are you ready?
Yeah!
Then go find your fishy matches. The one who gets the most fish wins.
Squigglefish found a pattern right away, but it's Splatfish's pattern.
I keep on finding them that don't match.
Splatfish looking for a pattern. Yes, it checks out. That's one for Splatfish, but Squigglefish has one too. And Squiggle gets another right away. That puts him in the lead, 2-1. Squiggle looking for another match and finding it. Get moving, Splatfish.
So far, Squigglefish has 3,
and Splatfish catching up now with 2. Splatfish gets another one, but so does Squigglefish. The deeper you go in the ocean, the bluer and darker it is. That's why biofluorescence is amazing. Animals that can make these colors and patterns light up brightly can use them to see each other in the dark, avoid predators that can't see them, and find a mate to have babies with. Only 10 seconds left!
Can't find any more.
Can Splatfish catch up? Oh no, this fish has no pattern. It's not bioluminescent. Splatfish is wasting her time.
Okay, guys, time's up. So, Molly, you have 5 points.
Yay.
And Jeremy, you have 6 points.
Yes!
So you win. And now, time for a blackout party.
This is almost as much fun as this question from Andelaine.
Why does a comet have a glowing tail?
Flat Earth Corner!
No. This is a terrible sign. That devil star will bring us nothing but earthquakes and plagues of sickness. The rain will turn red with blood, and animals will be born with 2 heads. Run for your lives! And while you run for your life, do it in style with these Devil Comet t-shirts and buttons. Or commemorate the end of the world with a pendant. I've got every souvenir for the comet apocalypse at low, low prices.
Pretty much every ancient culture in the world dreaded seeing a comet in the night sky.
I found out that they thought the comets were sent by gods to bring war, illness, and destruction, and every bad thing you could imagine.
Luckily, thanks to science, we know a lot more about them now. In fact, I've got some experts who are going to help answer your question, Andelaine. Please welcome astrophysicists from the McGill Space Institute, Robert and Gabrielle.
Hi, Zoe.
Hi, Zoe.
Hi. Wow, what is this?
This is dry ice.
We're going to use it in a minute to make comets.
Cool.
It's actually extremely cold.
Wow.
Okay, so here are all the ingredients we need to make our very own comet.
Like a comet cake mix.
But I certainly wouldn't want to eat these cakes.
Most comets have dirt and they have dust in them. So we're going to use the sand here and the dirt, and we're going to mix it in the bag. And you can do the same with the dirt now.
So we mostly think of comets as dirty snowballs in space. So we already have the dirty part, but for the snowball bit, we're going to use some water. So now we have pretty much a mud pie. Now we need to make it into a comet. We're going to use the dry ice we found earlier to freeze our comet. Then we don't want to freeze our hands. We have some mittens to put on. So I'm just going to add a few scoops of this. There we go, and one more for good measure. Okay, so you want to push that all to one side of the bag?
I can help. We can take the comet out of the bag and look at it.
Wow, it looks like an ugly snowball.
And that's exactly what comets look like when they're really far away from the sun.
So, how does it light up?
If you were to blow on the comet,
Wow.
You see, it's producing a tail.
that's just like what happens when a comet gets close to the sun. It starts to melt, and it leaves behind a big, long vapor trail. The sun pushes the vapor trail away from the comet and gives us the big tail we see in the sky.
Oh, so the comet's tail always points away from the sun. But what makes it light up?
It just reflects the light of the sun.
Oh, I get it. It's the same way the moon shines.
Exactly.
Well, thanks for being on my show.
Thanks for having us.
I have another question from Andrew about lights we see in the sky.
Why is lightning so bright?
I checked, and I found out that the big flash of light is created by electricity that builds up in the clouds. It's kind of like what happens when your socks stick together when they're tumbled up in the dryer, and you try to pull them apart. They zap.
Check out this cartoon I made. Tiny pieces of ice form high up in the sky, where it's really cold. These ice crystals turn around in the wind. and they bump against water droplets and other ice crystals. As they rub and bump into each other, they build up an electrical charge. Eventually, the charge builds and builds to form a gigantic spark.
The lightning's bright flash comes from that spark.
Did you know that a bolt of lightning can give off as much light as almost 17 million light bulbs at once?
That's a lot of light bulbs.
Do try this at home. Emerald and Linnea are going to show you how to make your own mini lightning with just a balloon and a spoon. Here's what you do. Rub the balloon on your hair till it gets good and staticky. You'll know it's ready when your hair stands up and sticks to the balloon.
I think it's ready.
Then in the dark, bring a spoon close to the balloon.
Oh, there's a little spark.
Wow, did you see that? It's tiny lightning.
Bye, Zoe.
Nature has some cool ways to make light. What about us humans? Here's a question from Andrew.
How did people see in the dark when there was no light?
Tired of dark when day goes away? Try new Fire Stick. It light up your life. Invention need work.
The first thing humans used for light was fire. But it's dangerous and burns out really quickly.
But I found out that eventually we learned how to make it burn slower. We burned moss soaked in animal fat, which led to the first oil lamp. After that, we made candles out of wax. But when we figured out how to capture and control nature's electricity, everything changed.
This is a perfect time for Sophia's question.
How do you make a light bulb?
How do I make a light bulb? Ding! I asked my scientist friend, Shakib, along with Daniele and Andrea.
He knows how Thomas Edison made the first really useful light bulb back in 1879.
It's important to do this with an adult because it can get a little bit dangerous. Andrea here is going to help me. So what I need you to do is take this toilet paper roll, tape my 2 alligator clips to the side of that. And Daniele, I'm going to have you use our thin piece of filament here, which is actually a piece of picture wire, and attach it onto our alligator clips. And now I want you to cover it with this jam jar that I cleaned out earlier. The last thing we'll need is some electricity to send through the filament so that it glows. I have a battery pack here. I'm going to connect. What do you guys see?
Fire, light and burning.
Yes, we made a light bulb.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Uh-oh.
Wow, did you guys see that?
Yes, it just burned.
The filament's completely gone, but we do have a way to make the filament last longer. What's in the jar, you guys?
Air.
Very good. So if we remove the air from the jar, we can actually make our filament last a little bit longer and have a better light bulb. So we've got a candle here, put that in here, and we have to attach a new filament. And what we're going to do with our candle is light it. So a candle requires a couple things to burn. Of course, it needs the fuel, which is the wax that we have in the candle, but it also needs air or oxygen to burn. If we use the jar and we cover our candle, what will end up happening is we won't have any oxygen left. Can you see that the candle flame starts to get a little dimmer?
Yeah.
And then it goes out and we get a nice puff of smoke. So then we know there's no oxygen left inside our jar. And I'll just connect the other clip here. And look, this time it lights up, but it doesn't burn because there's no oxygen inside. Edison tried a whole bunch of different filaments for his light bulbs, but it wasn't until he removed the air and created a vacuum inside that he invented the electric light bulb.
And the rest is history. That was an awesome experiment. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Well, when it comes to lighting up from fire to fish that glow, nature's had it figured out from eons long ago. But when we use our brainy minds to follow nature's lead, we use the things around us to create the light we need. Oh, we made oil lamps and torches, fireworks and candles, lanterns, light bulbs, luminescent lights on our bike handles, neon signs, glow sticks, laser shows and movies, traffic lights, this lightning thing. These flashy shoes are groovy. There's headlamps, pyrotechnics, lit up fair rides, computer screens, holiday lights, lighthouses.
You're gonna make my head explode!
Phew.
We've harnessed light to do so many amazing and silly things. But I still can't get my own butt to glow like fireflies. No fair! And that brings us back to the question that started off the show.
If fireflies glow in the dark, why can't we?
The big answer is... we actually do. Well, not enough to see with our eyes. Only just a tiny, tiny amount.
I found out that all living creatures give off a very small amount of light because of the activities of our cells. We humans have never been able to make our own light on purpose, though, the way cave worms and deep-sea fish do. That's because we don't live in constant darkness.
But we were smart enough to figure out how to make the light we need with stuff we found in nature. Which means...
it's party time! Woo!